Did you want to give a little background of what your Substack is about?
Sure, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, my pen name is Mr. Hyde, and I write a variety of fiction. I was working on three separate projects. It's not like as great as it sounds. It's just that the way my brain works. I think of something, then I want to do this. I know I want to do that kind of thing. So right now, I'm working on a fantasy novel that I've been working on for several years. I also do a Victorian fantasy type of scenario, like a little bit like Carnival Row, but a little more in depth, and also Pope from the 1920s and 30s.
Nice, nice. We could definitely use more pulp. I feel like that's a genre that's kind of fallen out of the mainstream a little bit.
And not to plug, but if you go to my profile, you can see some of the custom action figures I make as a hobby, which are based on the characters in my stories.
That's so cool. And you can kind of add visuals to yourself, even just for a reminder while you're writing.
Yeah, I find that if I'm looking at the figure when I'm writing a particular scene, it kind of helps focus it more.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Cause I know, like, for me with my writing, I have to just kind of remember, like, what did I have to write down the description that I gave the character. Cause otherwise I'll be like, did I give him broad shoulders? Is he skinny? Is he fat? I can't remember.
No, I know that feeling. That's one of the reasons why I did customs. Is I was just okay. So here they are. Here they are. Now talk.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You're almost like it's literally playing with action figures, but as an adult.
Yeah. Well, I'm of the opinion that I'm a Toys R Us kid. For those who know, and I don't feel like growing up anytime soon.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's awesome. So I'm Adam Zolnai. I run the Loudner in the Basement Substack, where I talk about movies and TV shows on the nerdier side of things. So anything Marvel, DC, Star Wars, all of that kind of stuff. Any of the big pop culture things I like to talk about. And on Wednesdays I do a written article, and then on Fridays I do a little quick news podcast. It was an article at one point, but I just found that the article was too limiting with how much news was coming out sometimes, and I didn't want to just be leaving a novel for people to read. So I found that a podcast was a lot easier. So, and on top of that, I am writing a couple of novels myself. I have a Western one I just finished editing, and I'm submitting for possible publication. Hopefully, a literary agent gives me a chance. We'll see there, but fingers crossed.
Oh, how exciting! What can you give what the Western is about, just briefly?
Sure, yeah, yeah. So the Western's basically about a outlaw named Jimmy Murdoch, and the whole idea is that he's part of a gang, obviously. They go to rob a bank. Bank heist goes south, and he's separated from the gang. And the
Oh,
whole book is him basically trying to get back to the rest of his friends, and along the way getting hunted down by a bounty hunter that's just complete. Basically, imagine the Punisher in the Wild West almost. Uh,
ooh,
and the whole idea is him like trying to evade him, and then also he runs into a former slave named Solomon that he becomes friends with, and they kind of relate to each other in some way with some of their backgrounds. And then also, it's like you kind of see where their worldviews differed when they were met with hardship and mistreatment. Where Solomon's a little bit more on the side of the angels, where Jimmy was like, screw it, I'm gonna rob everyone I see, kind of a thing. So
mhm,
just really an interesting dichotomy there. And then the whole point is at the end, it's called At Prairie's End.
mhm.
They go to a western town called At Prairie's End, and basically Jimmy's kind of faced with the choice of, do I join my former gang and try to continue the outlaw life, or could I possibly settle down and actually, you know, go on the right path? And basically, that's the crux of the story there.
I am honestly, you couldn't see it. I was rubbing my hands in anticipation. No, really, this sounds like a great story because you got a lot of good contrasts in it
Thank you.
going on. I really like that. Yeah, I hope you forgive me. I role played Dungeons and Dragons and other role playing games since the 1970s. That's how old I am, and I've run games. I participated in games. So whenever somebody my mind automatically goes to like characters and subplots and connections. It's like falling off a
Yeah.
log. So I was just sitting there listening, going, "Oh man, that's going to be so good." You know.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I even have like a little bit of a almost like a Breaking Bad section with
Mhm.
a moonshiner that he meets on the way there.
Oh, I see.
It was really fun.
Yeah, I really think, and I'm not trying to make a blanket statement, but I really think that a lot of authors would benefit from doing at least one or two really good role playing sessions, because that forces you to not only focus on the story in real time, but participating with people who are not going to go along with your program.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt. And then so when you're sitting down to write, you're like, well, I'm in control of this situation, this situation, this situation. But like I said, when it comes to like writing prompts and like character things, I'm just like falling off a log.
All it takes is one wild card to just upend the entire thing.
Well, before we talk about our topics, just one quick example. I had worked on a role playing game I was running for White Wolf called Vampire the Masquerade. I'm not sure if you heard of that.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's one of the big games in the '90s, and so I had wanted to have the group meet this librarian vampire in order for them to go to the next stage of the story. They all decided that said, "Screw that, we're going to the nightclub." Now you're left with two basic options. One, you force them to go to the library, but that doesn't make the story feel organic.
Right.
And that makes the players kind of get upset. Or I had the librarian meet them at the nightclub.
Hey, librarians can go to nightclubs too.
Yeah, well, when you're a goth, you're a goth.
That's right. That's right.
So that's what I mean.
That's
It really
awesome.
helps you focus on the story and the characters, I think. I mean, look at George
Yeah.
R. R. Martin. George R. R. Martin, his first big break in writing was when he did Wild Cards, which was based on his superhero campaign.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, he based the wild cards on the superhero campaign that he did back in the day, and he got, of course, his group's permission, and that's he basically turned their adventures in the role playing into the story.
Interesting. At least he was able to finish that.
Exactly.
The things that that man will do in order to not finish his Game of Thrones series is ridiculous. Just every time they announce a new Game of Thrones spinoff, I'm like, oh, so this is how he's avoiding finishing Winds of Winter.
Exactly. I think I saw an apologist for him say something like, "Oh well, Tolkien didn't finish the similarity either." Yeah, but Tolkien finished the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Yeah, the submarine was just supplemental material he was bored with, so he just started writing.
Yeah,
It's not like we got
he
to
did
Return of
finish
the
what
King and
made
it
this.
just didn't end.
Well, the movie version had like 9 endings. I'm like, really?
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about movies, my friend, please.
Yeah, yeah. So I was
That's
figuring
what
we
we do.
could start off with our favorite movies, with some of our favorites. You can go ahead if you want.
Okay. My favorite movie. Do you mean the movie you keep going back to?
Yeah, that's kind of the
Because
criteria I use because it's hard to pick one favorite.
well, I find like one of the movies I really like and is Tropic Thunder.
Ah, good one.
Just because it's like the new generation's Ghostbusters, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's the kind of movie you watch and you just watch, you just enjoy every minute of it,
Yep. Yep.
and it just works.
It does. Oh.
Um, my favorite, my favorite horror movie, thriller movie, I guess, would be The Shining,
Okay.
because
That's a good one.
that's a movie that's a movie with so many layers to it. It's like an onion.
Yeah.
And when you read about how they made it, it gets even more impressive. Like for example, um, when how movies are shot out of sequence, right?
Yeah.
And then they put together in the editing room. Well, a lot of the shots for The Shining were done sequentially. So every time they went, say, back to the hallway, the set designers moved everything 3 inches to either the right or the left. So your brain is in there going, something is different about this. Your subconscious, your subconscious is triggered, but you can't really figure it out.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's
thing. So,
wild. And it's funny because didn't Stephen King say he didn't like that movie?
Well, there's actually a funny story, yeah, between that because he said, according to Stephen King, Stanley Kubrick called him up one night and he said, "Why are people afraid of ghosts? Doesn't that prove there's an afterlife?" And King hung up on him. So
Sounds about right.
it didn't really like start off pretty well, kind of thing. But another one of my favorite comedies though is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back
Mm, yeah, it's classic.
because that was made for that was made for the fans.
Mm,
You know,
yeah,
the stuff in the film only we would care about. And so that's why I enjoy it because it's like this is for us.
right.
Everyone else is sitting there going, "What the hell is going on?" We're sitting there going, "Oh yeah, oh yeah."
That's what we wanted. I got that reference, and yeah, everyone else is just looking at you confused.
I mean, that whole scene with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon when they're filming Goodwill Hunting 2 Hunting Season was just priceless. He goes like, "I can't believe you talked me into doing this. Wasn't Dogma bad enough?"
And again, half the audience is like, "What's that?"
Right, huh? He goes, "Look, you're such a child. I should have told you. First, you do the safe picture, then you can do your art picture, and then you look at the camera. And then somebody says, your best friend said you won't, so you do that picture."
Yep, yep,
So, and
great.
by the way, Jason Mewes can really carry a movie. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure it helps having Kevin Smith kind of backing him a lot too, because they're pretty good friends in real
Oh,
life.
oh no, absolutely. But he was the one in all the scenes and doing all the stuff. So, okay.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. I don't really have. I can't think of anything. I know. I did try to sit and think about this honestly. You know.
Yeah.
So, what do you? Let me hear your. Let me hear your list, please.
Well, for me, I kind of like you said, I used the criteria of just like what do I go back to really often, and like the first one that came to mind instantly was Empire Strikes Back. Like that's I mean I'm a Star Wars fan since I was a kid, and that's one where I remember watching and just it really capturing my imagination, especially the whole Hoth scene with the walkers and everything. Just every time I would go outside in the snow, I'd pretend I was on the planet and that walkers were coming. Like it just really was the first time a movie captured my imagination. I was just like, whoa, what is this kind of thing? And I remember during the pandemic, they were playing Empire Strikes Back at the local theater since obviously no new movies were coming out at the time.
Right.
So I was like, oh, let's go see that. And so me and my wife went there as a kind of like a little birthday present to me, and it's still held up on the big screen. Like obviously it's one of those movies that you see so much behind the scenes that like your brain can kind of be like, "Oh yeah, I know how they did that. I know how they did that," or "This is what that special effect is," but it still works. Like the magic is still there even after you know how they did the trick kind of thing. So it's just one of those movies where I can't wait to show my kids whenever they're old enough to watch it.
They're in for a good time. I can tell you that much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can't wait. There's a bunch of movies where I'm just like, oh, just wait until you're old enough. I can't wait.
Can I tell you a really quick funny story?
Sure.
Okay, you probably know how old I am, for an idea. My family saw Star Wars 1977 opening night.
Oh wow.
Okay, now there's a reason why. Because my dad, who worked for the city, thought it was Star Trek.
He must have
So
been shocked.
throughout the whole movie, my dad is going, "Where's Captain Kirk? Where's Captain Kirk? Where the heck is Captain Kirk and Spock?" And I'm sitting there going, "Oh boy." But actually, that started a tradition. We saw Empire opening night as well,
Oh, cool.
and
He
I
was a
was the
little
one
less
who
confused
blabbed.
this time.
Yeah, yeah. This time because he liked the first Star Wars movie. Actually, I got to admit though, I walked out of the theater. I was like, I can't believe Darth Vader is Luke's dad. And everyone was like, "What? Screw you, kid."
You're like,
So
listen, I didn't know.
I'm the genesis of the meme apparently.
Great.
But then my
Yeah.
dad didn't want to see. Then my dad didn't want to see Return because he saw the picture of Princess Leia in the bikini, and he was like, "No," and I was like, come on. So my mom took us instead, just to complete the trilogy.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, no, that it's one of those things where like part of me is like, man, I wish I could have been there to like experience it when it came out because I can only imagine like just seeing the documentary footage of people like swarming the theater and talking about it because it was in the theaters for like 6 months of the original Star Wars, wasn't it? Something
Yeah,
crazy like that.
it was back then. Movies were because there was no home video. The movie was there until the the milk ran dry. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
so they kept it a long time.
Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, no. It's just it's weird to not imagine I'm a little bit younger, I'm a '90s kid, so
Mhm.
I had home video when I granted it was just starting out when I was growing up, but I was fortunate enough to live in that era, but even then it still took couple months before anything was even close to coming out on home video. But, another
Yeah.
one is for me is, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That's another one where it's
Oh,
just comfort
oh,
movie, can watch it anytime it's on kind of deal. I'll be like, "Nope, I'm sitting down and watching this." Like, I can't have it just playing in the background because 'cause I'll just end up watching it. Just so much fun. It's my favorite of all the indie movies, and I I just can't get enough of it. It's like it's my favorite John Williams score, everything. Just all of
can you
it's
imagine?
perfect.
Can you imagine we live in a timeline where we have Sean Connery and Harrison Ford in the same movie,
And it
doing
works
it
so well.
doing it so good. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, especially because it's like after coming off of Temple of Doom, like, if it was modern times, like, I could have totally see the studio being like, "We have so many notes for you, Spielberg," but, like, back then, he was still able to kinda get away with, "Hey, I'm Steven Spielberg, I can do what I want." So
Right.
it's just the fact that he was able to kinda have the self-awareness to be like, "Okay, people didn't like Temple of Doom, and to be honest, I could see why. So we are not doing that for the next one. We'll go the
Yeah.
complete
Exactly.
opposite direction."
Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah, bad guys in Germany. There you go.
Happy, whimsical, fun times. No
Oh
monkey
boy.
brains.
Oh, the heck was that about?
I still love the interview where George Lucas was like, "Yeah, I was in a dark place when I wrote that script." It's like, we could tell, George.
Really,
It was
George?
very clear.
The monkey brains wasn't a clue, huh?
Yeah, yeah. All the horror elements definitely gave that vibe off just a bit. But yeah, I mean, I as far as comedies, I don't really have a favorite comedy. Like I enjoy comedy, but I
Uh
can't think
huh.
of one that like I go back to that often. Like,
Yeah, a lot of them. Not it's not even a question of just aging well. You just know the jokes.
yeah, yeah, it's like after you hear the same dad joke 50 million times, it's like, it's funny.
Ha ha. You know, kind
Right.
of thing. I know.
Although I am happy to see, them making a comeback in theaters a little bit. Like Scary Movie 6, I'm very excited for because it's like, okay, you're doing Scary Movie. You're not making Scary Movie 2026.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Actually,
I think we
you
need
know,
comedies like that where it's just absurd, stupid, juvenile humor just to laugh at for an hour and a half and then leave.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, really, I think sometimes you just want to go there and just have a good time.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of been lost a little bit, and some of it is just, these movies, even like the Marvel movies, it's like they have comedy in them, but they cost so much money to make that you can feel the studio being like, "We gotta reach as many people as possible, otherwise we are not gonna break even on this, $300 million budget or whatever." And whereas these comedies, it's like, yeah, we cost like 50 million to make, so if we only make 150, that's a great day for us.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think I didn't want to get into this rant, so maybe I'll hold it to another episode to give it a little teaser. But I think, and I'm not saying I'm smart or anything, but I think I kind of figured out a big problem as to what's wrong with the entertainment industry in general. And it's surprisingly not what the usual suspects think it is, if you know what I
Now you
mean.
have me intrigued. I want to hear it. You should say it. Go ahead. We
Okay.
got time.
Okay. Okay, no problem. I think honestly is that there's a big trend to want to get the results without putting in the legwork to it.
Mm.
Like, I'll give you an example. I'm a big Star Trek nerd. I don't think that's a secret. And when Spock died, oh, spoilers, when Spock died at the end of Wrath of Khan, right?
Yeah.
It was a huge emotional moment for us as fans because we followed these characters since the 60s. We've seen them in episodes and other movies. So it was an earned feeling. You felt legitimate. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was built up over time. And it's like planting in the field. You got to plant the seed, and then you got to nurture the seed, and then you get the harvest. I think nowadays they don't really want to put the work into the harvest. They just want the immediate results.
Yeah.
And it shows, which is why they feel hollow, for lack of a better term, as opposed
Yeah.
to or as opposed to organic. And I think that's a big problem. It actually, even talking about the comedies, especially like Scary Movie will hopefully be the exception. But a lot of the parody movies that we had to suffer through, they were just, here's Lady Gaga, but not, what are we doing with Lady Gaga to make you laugh?
Right.
And
Right. It's
so,
just,
like,
hey,
here's Lady
look at
Gaga.
Gaga's doing stupid things on the stage. Isn't that funny?
But, and, you know,
Right.
so I think that's part of it is that they don't want to invest in the nurturing of the seed to get the harvest. They just want it immediate, and it just comes off as hollow.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, you kind of saw that with Marvel. Like the reason Infinity War and Endgame did such gangbusters was because they put in that time to get the audience invested so that when you got to the big payoff movie, everyone was like chomping at the bit to see how the story ended. And I mean, that's my big worry with Doomsday is that we don't have that build up and investment. And I'm worried that it's gonna make the actual movies we get uh coming out soon suffer for that because we have to do all that build up in one movie and then pay it off in the same movie or the next movie, and it's just not going to feel as organic as it was with Thanos and all of that.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Robert Downey Jr. is a fantastic actor,
Mhm.
and he is going to nail the part. I have no doubt. But it's going to be too rushed.
Yeah, especially for
You
a
know.
character like Doom that just he has a lot of backstory and nuance to him. Like there's a reason he's one of the biggest names in Marvel comics when it comes to villains. Like you need to put in that work, and I'm worried that they're not going to have time to do that because they got to also have him fight everybody.
Yeah, exactly, and that takes time away.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like you said, I do think he can pull it off. And one of the things I also think is a problem is because you have Robert Downey Jr. playing him, they couldn't have him cameo in any other movie besides these two Avengers movies because it would just be too expensive. Because you know that even if they had him in like 10 minutes of Fantastic Four, that would cost them like $250,000 right there just to have him
Pretty
show up
much.
on set for like 3 days.
Yeah, and ironically, that's kind of what made the original MCU up to Thanos seem organic, is because Downey was made cameos in a lot of other movies.
Hmm.
So it felt like even in the Spider-Man movie, so it felt like a connected type of world.
Exactly, exactly. And it's just now you don't have that crossover. Or it's just like, okay, you put that character in, but why?
Yeah, exactly, and that gets back to the initial problem, which is they want the payoffs without the work.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the
They're
other
like,
thing
you
is,
like this, don't you? You like member berries, right?
thank you. Man, remember when Star Trek? Remember when the guy was bored? Wasn't that key? That kind of thing.
Yep.
The other problem I have, and this is an industry-wide problem as well. This is the second prong of the problem, is they keep hiring, and I don't understand this. They keep hiring people who don't care about the stuff.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean, really, didn't we learn from the Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo?
You mean that wasn't an authentic fan made film? You didn't feel the love for Nintendo in that movie?
I mean, didn't we? I mean, when I was on my friends on the Discord. We were watching Conan the Barbarian, but with the director's commentary, because a lot of times that's a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Because we all know the Conan. Let's be honest. And at one point, the director actually said, and knew he was being recorded, mind you. I never read any of the Conan stories or comics or magazines when I took the part. Then why did you take the part?
Right.
Why did you take the job then? You know, can I give you a hypothetical, please?
Sure.
I promise this will be 2 minutes.
You're
Okay.
good.
So, I'm sorry?
No, I said you're good.
Okay. Again, I'm sorry if I don't ever mean to cut you off. Sometimes I think this.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's all
here's
good.
the thing. So, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you. So,
Mhm.
Stan Lee, right? He's alive. Thank goodness. He's in his office. In comes Zack Snyder, shall we say. I'm going somewhere with this, don't worry. And he says, Mr. Lee, I was just hired by Marvel. I'd like to do the next Spider-Man movie. Well, that's fantastic, true believer. Spider-Man's our most popular character. Tell me, how long have you been enjoying his comics? Oh, I think he's the enemy. I want to tear him down. I don't think he's interesting at all. I want to kill him. Get the hell out. Buy
Right.
some Spider-Mans from the because that's what he did when he was working for DC in The Watchmen when he was being interviewed.
Hmm.
He literally said, and I have the clip, okay, because I bring receipts. I have the clip where he says, people are, hey, you want to make a Superman movie? Heck no, he's the enemy. I want to tear him down. I don't want to make him interesting. He's the enemy. I want to kill him.
Ah,
Mr.
I
Snyder,
remember
you're
that.
perfect. Yeah, Mr. Snyder, you are perfect to shepherd our Superman project. Come on in, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Zack Snyder, man. He seems like a nice guy, but I'm just like, stay away from comic book movies, man. Please.
Well, yeah, because again, he just doesn't get it. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not saying you can't become a fan. Another example, when after Star Trek 1, they got rid of Gene Roddenberry, who just became a consultant. Nice. And then they hired Harvey Bennett, who was a TV producer. You may have heard of some of the shows he did. He did the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman, for instance.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a successful producer, right? So Paramount put him in charge. He's like, Star Trek? The hell is Star Trek? But what he did was he went to the studio library. Remember, this is before they had, cassettes and DVDs. He brought all 79 episodes home with him and played them in his home theater at home and took notes on every episode. Came in Monday morning, let's do Wrath of God.
Wow.
So
That's
you
putting in your
can
homework.
become, if you care about it,
Yeah.
not just cash a paycheck.
Exactly. And I mean, like I hated what happened with the whole Halo show on Paramount Plus where the showrunners came out and literally were like, "Yeah, we haven't played the games. We didn't look at them while we were making this show." And it's like, "Then why are you making a Halo show?" Like I get like, "Oh, I want to get paid and I want to put my name on something popular." It's like, "Well, don't you also want to make sure it's good so that when you put your name on it, people are like, "Oh yeah, that guy knows quality."
You would think.
I don't know. Maybe we're just too logical for Hollywood.
I know I'm not in the right. I know I'm not in the right mindset for that. I can assure you.
Yeah, maybe
But
it's
I
just
want to
like
raise another.
ego.
I think it's not just that. I think it's that once you become like a made man, if you know what I mean, then you can pretty much do whatever you want. Nobody cares.
Yeah, yeah,
Like for example, Alex Kurtzman, who does Star Trek, he was the big he wrote the first, the JJ Star Trek movies, which did well, and then he did then before that he did Transformers, so he's pretty much a made man.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Why?
Yeah, like I'm
But I'm going to talk.
untouchable basically.
Okay, but let's bring it back up because we want to be positive. I want to talk about a
Sure.
movie I saw early this year that I loved.
Ooh.
Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Oh, I heard about that.
Oh,
Didn't get around to watching it.
it's so good. The acting, the direction, the presentation, everything top notch.
Oh yeah, I mean Guillermo del Toro. When it comes to monsters, the man knows how to make them.
You know, Oscar Isaacs was snubbed for for best actor, and he should have got it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
whole the whole movie, he walked the razor's edge between madness and genius perfectly.
Oh
So
yeah.
good.
No, my opinion of Oscar Isaac really has really grown even since I saw him like in Star Wars because I've seen him in other things. I was like, man, this guy can really act. And it's like, how did Star Wars waste him? And even Moon Knight to a lesser extent. He at least had
Mm-hmm.
some scenes in Moon Knight where he really got to act and choose some scenery. But man, Star Wars, I was like, how do you botch that so bad?
Well, the funny thing is that apparently he wasn't even, he was supposed to die earlier in the movie, but everyone liked him so much they basically brought him back in. I'm like, well, this is always a good idea for a character arc. We're gonna
Yeah,
kill you, but people like you. Never mind. So
we need more
yeah,
action figures.
yes, and apparently spray painting the first orders to be red because that will be a good idea.
How about red stormtroopers?
Oh, red stormtrooper! Wow, that's different. Honey, grab the kids. We're going to see the red stormtrooper. What?
We'll make millions.
Yeah.
I mean, with how expensive action figures are now, wouldn't be that hard.
Probably not, unfortunately. I know that for firsthand. When you customize like I do, it's like, how much?
Right. Yeah. And
But
then
I
it's
just
just like,
want that one.
okay, imagine that on a massive scale. Hmm.
Yeah. But did you see a movie recently that you really liked?
Yes. Project Hail Mary. I was so excited for this movie because I had read the book like a few years
Oh.
ago, and even then in the back of the book, the author Andy Weir was like, yeah, there's a movie in development with Ryan Gosling set to star. And I was like, I hadn't heard about it for the longest time, and I was like, oh man, I hope that didn't like get stuck in development hell or whatever. I'm like, I don't know how it does when you have literally a book to copy off of. um but then it came out, and it's great. It's just one of those nice feel good sci-fi movies that you
Hmm.
just come out with just feeling happy and hopeful. I really
Good.
appreciate that. It's not another bleak sci-fi thing of like, what if humanity was the worst thing in nature? And it's like, okay, yeah, can we do something different, please? And it does.
Yeah. Good.
It's cool.
I'm going to let you in on a dark secret. Not a really dark secret. I don't really watch. No, well, I'll explain why. The reason why I don't really watch movies in the theaters is not just because of lockdown or anything like that. Back in the 90s, I was in the movie theater watching Godfather 3 when they shut up the place.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I'm just sitting there going, I don't really think this movie's worth it.
Right. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I don't blame you there. I do
So
not blame you there.
the last movie I saw in the physical theaters was Shrek 4, the final one, because my wife and I saw the other three.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this is a small theater. Probably nobody knows where it is. It's like 10 people here. I think we're okay.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah.
much it. So I just wait for streaming or home video at this point because I'm like, no, I don't want to. No.
Well, and I mean, you can get such a good home video setup now. Like, yeah, I still enjoy the theater experience, but I also get why some people stay home, and especially with how expensive it can get, is ridiculous.
Yeah, $18 popcorn, 16 soda. Come on, give me a break.
Well, even just because it's like everything is, you have to reserve your seat now. It's not like you just buy a ticket and then sit wherever you want. So, of course, like in order to reserve your seat, most of the time you do it through the app. And of course, they always add that $4 or $5 processing fee on top of your $12 ticket. So it's like, crap, I forgot to budget for that. It's like, great. So my $15 movie ticket and then my like, $13 bucket of popcorn. It's like, great, I could have bought a whole meal with this.
Yeah, exactly. And well, also on this personal note, I'm partially deaf,
Oh,
and ruptured eardrum. And my wife, English is not her first, is not like really her first language. She's from the Philippines, but you know how it is.
yeah.
And it's hard to pay attention in the theater when you have other idiots talking. So at least we can have subtitles and captions
Yeah,
on
I'm
the whole video.
surprised that more movie theaters haven't installed subtitles. Like, it was one of those things where I can't remember what the exact statistic was, but something like 90% of people have subtitles when they're watching anything on streaming, and it's like I'm surprised that they theaters haven't added that because I don't think anyone would complain.
I don't think anybody would complain either. It's pretty much commonplace. So
Well, and
it
some of
would
them
make
need it, like especially Christopher Nolan's movies. Man's a genius, but sound mixing is not his forte.
what? I mean, like when he had Bane.
I
What?
was I was just talking with a friend of mine about that today, where I was because I guess Dune Part 3 at CinemaCon showed like 7 minutes of footage, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna put that in like front of the Odyssey IMAX screenings, kind of like what they did with the Dark Knight Rises. He's like, oh, I don't remember that. I'm like, oh yeah, it was a whole thing with Dark Knight Rises. The test footage, you couldn't hear what Bane was saying at all, so that's why it's so overcorrected in the actual movie, where his voice is just out booming a plane.
I love how in the Harley Quinn animated series they made that into part of his character.
It's synonymous with Bane now. Like, he will never escape that voice. And to this day, I still don't know what Tom Hardy was thinking when he made that voice.
I there must have been a reason.
I think I looked
Yeah.
it up and I can't remember what it was, but I remember thinking, I don't know where you got that combo, man. Like, it's the same thing when he was playing Eddie Brock in the Venom movies. I'm like, that's not a New York accent. I don't know what accent you're doing, but that's not like downtown Bronx, New York, man.
No, I live in the area. I'm like, no.
Maybe if you were like a guy that got kicked in the head or something, maybe. Because just like the way he like takes awkward pauses, it's like, what? Who talks like that?
I'm still trying to figure out how they tried to make him look like Patrick Stewart in Star Trek Nemesis. I think they're going,
Yeah,
what? Uh, okay.
it's a choice, bold choice.
well, well, if you listen to the director's commentary of Nemesis, the first thing the guy says is, "Hi, I'm Stuart Baird. I was the writer and director of Star Trek Nemesis, and I wanted to make a Star Trek movie to appeal to non-Star Trek fans." And I'm like, and that's why you failed.
It's like, so there's the problem right there.
Yeah, it's like that's why you failed, sir, because only Star Trek fans are going to see this.
Yeah, I
We
never
should.
understand that. I mean, like, they're making a Mass Effect show at Amazon, and like recently, I can't remember exactly who it was in Amazon, but they were quoted as saying, "Oh yeah, we're still working on the scripts because we felt that they were not really compatible with people with non-gamers. We needed to make it better for non-gamers." I'm like, who do you think is going to watch a Mass Effect show? The people who played the games. It's not like they're that
Yeah,
complicated.
yeah, it's really not that hard to figure out.
No,
Okay,
it's like, have you seen
okay.
Star Trek? Well, this is Star Trek, but with some other aliens.
Which would be fine, but the thing is, Star Trek is about the human condition and exploration, all that good stuff.
Hmm.
So, oh well. You see, I was old enough to live through the dark times of Trek. That was between the original series ending in '69, and then until the movie in 1970. I think it was 1979. And for that 10 years, we had nothing. We had UHF stations playing Star Trek, if you were lucky.
Oh
We had
man.
the Star Trek books. Yeah, we had the Star Trek books. We had the Star Trek comics, double that. And then we had the Star Trek role playing game, which was, by the way, incredible, just so you know. And then that was it. So we survived. You know what I mean? We kept the franchise going until the next movie in 79 came out. Everyone was like, see it, see it, see it. So
And then
Star
everyone's like,
Trek had
"What is
died.
this?"
Everyone's sitting there going, do I need to get high for this movie?
I remember the first time my dad showed me that movie, and I was even like, "I don't understand why half," like, even as like a teenager, I was like, "I don't understand why half these scenes are in this movie." Just like
Well,
the
I can tell you why.
psychedelic colors.
Well, I can tell you why. It's because they looked at Star Wars and looked at the special effects and they said, let's do that, but except the stuff that made Star Wars good.
Like, "Oh, we need
So,
a story reason to do that stuff?" I didn't know.
oh, wait, we have to connect things? Oh, okay. See, the thing that's actually really funny, right, is that originally it was going to be another Star Trek show called Phase Two.
Hmm.
Set years after the original series, and Leonard Nimoy did not want to come back to do Spock. So they were like, "Whoa, what are we going to do now? We got to do this thing." So then they cast this other actor to play this Vulcan character named Zahn, and Zahn was full Vulcan, not half Vulcan. So he actually had more capabilities than Spock did. But unlike Spock, who's trying to like repress his emotions, Zahn wanted to experience them because he thought he would make it a better crew member. So
Hmm.
it actually is a pretty interesting character. The problem is it didn't work. That's why they made the movie. And I'm glad it didn't work because Star Trek, it was not the right time for Star Trek to come back at that point. You know?
Just
Especially
the
when Leonard Nimoy wasn't
technology
going
and
to be there.
stuff.
Right. So it would have died very, very painfully. And then it would have been resurrected. Then it would have been resurrected in the 90s as an action film with, say, Arnold Schwarzenegger as Captain Kirk.
Oh my goodness. Now I kinda
Nicholas
wanna see
Cage.
that.
Nicholas Cage as Spock.
Oh. See, now you're making me wanna
And
see this movie.
and Whitney Houston as Uhura. Why? She's black and can sing. Oh, good. So
She can do the credits song.
exactly. So I was sitting there going,
Jeez.
it wouldn't be the worst thing I've seen.
It's like,
We
considering
got to
what
go
we've
through
gotten
more.
sometimes, I'll take it.
Well, compared to what we're getting nowadays, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Again,
Hey,
I don't want to rag on New Trek. I don't want to rag on it because people who are listening or who are not like it, and that's fine. Don't get me wrong.
yeah.
Okay, if you find something, especially nowadays, that you enjoy, more power to you.
Yep.
Embrace
Agreed.
because it's a rare gem. But it's just not. It's not Star Trek. That's all. See, Kurtzman
Yeah.
is like a 9/11 truther kind of guy. So
Yeah.
he sees conspiracies everywhere. He would make the best cyberpunk show ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, if he would make a cyberpunk show, I would watch the hell out of that show because it would be really good because that's the genre he knows. Star Trek is not cyberpunk.
No, is not. It's the
You
opposite.
know, Let me give you an example. If I gave you $25, right, to make you get me ingredients to buy a cake, right?
Mhm.
And you go to the store and you come, not you personally, you know what I mean, and you come back because you wouldn't be this dumb, and you give me tortilla chips and hot sauce and mustard and French bread. That's all well and good, but I can't make a cake out of it. That's
No, no,
basically
you can't. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah, and it's one of those things where, like you said, he's a made man, so no one's gonna
yep.
really tell him no. Although I am surprised considering how underwhelming those shows have performed, that he hasn't gotten the boot just out of sheer like, hey, you're costing us money.
Well, if this new merger goes forward, I think he might be on borrowed time because the first
That's
thing they
true.
asked are so the first thing they asked are the properties that are not performing up to snuff.
True. Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think they'll, if nothing else, he'll definitely be on a very very short leash.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, no, you got to produce results now,
Right,
now.
right.
But the music is good. And speaking of music, let's talk about soundtracks. I love movie
Ooh,
soundtracks.
me too. Me
You
too.
know,
Yeah.
my my
Go ahead.
top three soundtracks, and this is again all personal.
Yeah,
I'm including Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in one category because they're the same genre, if you will.
yeah,
But those that soundtrack, those is just peak.
yeah.
It's exactly
I
what would be playing in your head if when you're reading the books. You know what I mean? It's just
yeah,
perfect.
yeah. I mean, heck, I'll admit I listened to it while I read the book when I would read the book sometimes because it just matches, like you said, perfectly. It's one of those things where Howard Shore just nailed everything, and I really appreciate the amount of work he put into each theme. Where it's like, okay, the Elvish music, the chanting's going to be
Mhm.
spoken in Elvish, and then the Dwarf music, it's going to be spoken with Dwarvish chanting and stuff. It's like that's that extra level stuff is just awesome.
Yeah, he really made it individual. Because after a while, in some movies it just blends and washes over each other.
Yeah,
But you can play that music to someone without even the movie going. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's the elves, right?
right. Yeah,
Oh yeah, oh yeah, this is Lake Town, right? Right, gotcha." Just very evocative, and that's the mark of a true master composer.
totally agree. Totally agree. But what else you got?
Another one, and this is, oh, well, another one. This is a personal favorite of mine. Vangelis and Blade Runner.
Ooh, yeah.
It's just an ethereal quality to it, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
yeah. It matches
I'm
that
sorry,
movie perfectly.
it really does. That's why when you get a really good composer, it really enhances it.
Yeah, yeah. It does. I
And
mean,
the
it's
final one, the final one is is a guilty pleasure of mine. And I know people are like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, well, Highlander, the original.
no judgment on that. No judgment on that.
Uh, I fully believe that Highlander would not be as anywhere near beloved as a cult film as it is if it wasn't for Queen.
Yeah, especially because
You
it
know?
came out kind of at the height of their popularity, didn't it?
Yeah, they got a lot of acclaim when they did Flash Gordon in 1982, 1980, I mean. But that actually cemented them to doing the Highlander because they were actual proven quality at that point when it came to movie scoring. So yeah, it's just great.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
know.
with you on the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, those are some of the best music ever put to film. Another one for me that I go back to a lot is Pirates of the Caribbean. Those soundtracks are a lot of fun.
Oh, man. That theme is so iconic.
Oh yeah, instantly it gets your blood pumping as soon as you hear. You're like, oh yeah, here we go.
There we
But even
are.
just like the other themes that Zimmer created, like Davy Jones's like organ theme, um,
Hmm.
and some of the experimentation he did in like Stranger Tides, where he added like a lot of
Mm.
like acoustic guitar stuff to it, where it's just like, man, I wouldn't have thought that for Pirates music, but it works. It helps that because I saw an interview with him where he's like, I love doing scores for movies that I know aren't very good because those are usually the scores I can just kind of go nuts on and no one cares.
Like exactly. As opposed to no, you got to do it right this time.
Right, it's like I got to be careful, everyone's watching me, but here I can do whatever the heck I want. And but yeah, that music is just so much fun to listen to.
Yeah,
um
it really encapsulates the whole theme of the movie too. It really
oh
does.
yeah, oh yeah,
Totally other, absolutely, no question about it.
yeah. And then my last one would probably be mostly for nostalgia reasons, is Danny Elfman's scores for the Spider-Man movies. Just because that was like
Mm.
Spider-Man 2 is one of the first movies I saw in theaters. So it was
Ah,
just that main theme with the, the pick Alex Ross drawings coming up. It was just like, as a
mhm.
kid, I was like, this is amazing. And so that theme just lives rent free in my head all the time.
Yeah, Elfman has created such great works. I mean, one of my favorite things that he did was in Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack's Lament.
Yeah.
It's just it, you know, Howard Ash, the late Howard Ashman. He did the music for Little Shop of Horrors, Beauty and the Beast, right? Right?
Hmm.
He said every good score needs a "I want" song, meaning the character sits in the trash and 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 tells you what their motivation is. And with Jack, that was just excellent.
Yeah.
You knew exactly what the character was about. So,
No, exactly. And that was the first time I realized, I'm like, oh, I didn't know he sang, because I didn't know about his musical background. For me, it was just as I was like, oh, he's just the guy who did like Spider-Man and all the Tim Burton movies. And I didn't know that he actually had like a singing career on top of that.
yeah, he did a really. I was surprised too. Just like he sang this. Wow, cool.
Yeah. Well, especially because it's like, John Williams and all of his stuff. It's like I can't imagine John Williams like singing. So to have Danielle be like, yeah, and I just belted out some really classic songs now.
Yeah. But wait, what?
Yeah,
John
of
went
course. I mean, John Williams is a whole nother league. The man literally wrote the Harry Potter theme on a napkin.
exactly. I think it was Rich. I forget his Rod or Rich from Queen wrote "Who Wants to Live Forever" in the back of a limousine in 5 minutes.
That's insane. See, that's
They
just genius.
the thing about Queen is that all members of the band, all four of them, had very good musical backgrounds and knew how to write music. So they wrote a lot of the songs and everything together.
Okay.
So usually when it comes to bands and stuff, it's like one or two people who do that.
Right, like kind of like the
But
Beatles,
with
where it was mostly like Paul and John.
Paul and John, right? Whereas with Queen, all the members contributed. So you got like four different inputs going in at all times.
Well, and I think that's what
So
made them
this,
so good, is that it's like because everyone kind of really knows what they're doing for their specific part, but also understands what the other people are doing.
mhm,
They were able
yes,
to really kind of mesh well together.
right. It was a perfect synthesis of
Yeah.
stuff. So,
Well, before
well,
we go, is there any stuff that you're excited for that's coming out this year? Anything catching
well,
your eye?
like Scary Movie 6.
Hmm.
Um, because they, if nothing else, they know how to do stuff with the stuff they reference.
Yeah.
So it's not just here's this; it's what do we do with it. So I'm pretty amped about that, and I am going to be watching Avengers Doomsday no matter what, because apparently I have to by the mouse's law.
Disney has
And I'm sure,
decreed.
right, and I'm sure it'll be a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Please don't anybody
Yeah.
listen to this thing slamming the movie. I don't like to slam movies. I make fun of movies. There's a
Yes.
difference. I actually did a motion picture that actually got released. It's on my IMDb page. I was working in the art direction for it, and it's so much work to make a movie from start to finish.
No, I bet.
And there were so many times, even with a big budget film, where you can just go, you know what, the hell with this. I don't need this in my life, and just quit. But to see it from start to finish is amazing.
Oh, I
So
bet, because it's like you're on set every day and you're like, I have no idea how this is going to look. And then you see it all come together on the screen. You're like, whoa. Like, it reminds me of something on the set of Elf. Oh, I can't remember his name, who plays the dad, James. What's
James
his
Caan,
name? Yeah, yeah, that's it. I knew it started with a C, but I couldn't remember. But apparently, he thought that like Will Ferrell's performance was ridiculous. It was not going to work. Like he was getting really annoyed with him. But then he saw the film and he was like, "Oh, I get it. I get it. It
now,
worked."
well, rest in peace to James Caan. Rest in power.
Yeah, yeah.
We lost a great one.
Yeah, he was a good actor. He was a really good
Okay.
actor.
So, what movies are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward, obviously, Spider-Man, Avengers, all that. But one that's really caught my eye recently is Disclosure Day from Steven Spielberg. It wasn't really
Mm,
on my radar, but after seeing the trailers, I was like, "Oh, this looks really intriguing." Like, especially with how mysterious the trailers have been. Like, it's not the normal give away all the plot kind of thing. It's very
thank you.
much like, "Oh, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. I need to see this."
Well, this is going to be his last film, I think, right?
Um, it might be.
He
I mean,
says
he's getting up
he's
there.
in his 80s, isn't
Yeah, and somehow John Williams he convinced to come out of retirement to do the score. So it's another reason where I'm like, okay, I kind of have to experience this last one because I love Mr. Williams, but he's the man's in his mid 90s. I don't see him being around too much longer. I get scared every time I see a headline with his name in it.
I feel that way about a lot of people. Yeah. Oh please,
It's
oh please, God, not this one, please, please.
it's just weird getting to that point where it's like, oh my gosh, how I know these people. Like, because as a kid, when an actor passes, like, well, that's before my time. My parents cared about it, but I didn't really watch any of their movies. But now it's getting to the point where it's like, no, I grew up with you. Like, stop. Why are you? No, you can't die.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It becomes a lot more personal.
Yeah, like the one that really hit the most for me though was Stan Lee. Like when he passed away, I was like, oh, like this sucks. And then, of
Yeah,
course, you found
yeah.
out that he was getting abused by his family. You're like, oh, that's even worse.
That was very upsetting. To hear
Yeah.
about that. The people you trust the most.
Right. Well, and the fact that
Yeah.
he was able to, like, still have at least treat everyone with a good attitude. Like, I heard nothing but good things about people who interacted with him. Like, he seemed like a really nice guy.
He really did. I never met him personally. The only two comic book creators I ever met in my life personally was Keith Giffen.
Oh,
He
nice.
was, he autographed my Justice League International #1, and I said, Mr. Giffen, how do you come up with all this hilarious storylines every month? And he was like, when you got good characters, it's easy.
Oh, wow. That's a quote.
And I got to meet George Perez before he died.
Oh, nice.
He autographed my copy, my trade paperback copy of JLA versus Avengers.
Oh, nice.
After he signed it, he stood up, he walked around the table, and he gave me a big bear hug. And he said, "Thank you for being a fan."
Wow.
Yeah. That's the nicest, sweetest guy in the universe.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, and that's the nice thing is that most of these guys are pretty nice and down to earth and actually like the fans. They don't seem annoyed that we exist.
That,
maybe Todd McFarlane. He comes across a little like, oh, I got a business meeting I need to get to.
but actually, I've heard that he stays there as long as he has to sign an autograph for a fan, and that he's as nice to the last person as he was to the first. So I've heard some good things about him.
That's good. That's good. Just his demeanor sometimes comes off as very businesslike, and I mean the man's made $1 billion toy business, so I can't blame him.
Well, kind of thing. So yeah, I mean, I don't blame him either. I mean, like, what? Fine, here.
Right. Well, and I imagine after a while hearing the same question over and over again, you get a little tired. Like I know it's the same way with some of these actors and like on the press circuits.
Yeah,
It's like I don't blame them for sometimes not being enthusiastic when you're asked the same question 50 million different times. You're like, I don't want to answer this again, but I have to because it's my
yeah,
job.
exactly. Fine. Yes, I really enjoyed working with Sir Alec Guinness. It was a whole. You know what Sir Alec Guinness did? Speaking of which, I heard he did. He put in his own autobiography, by the way.
What did he do?
Is that he was online, signing autographs at a Star Wars thing, right? Convention, I think it was. And this little boy, he's about 6 years old. He's wearing a homemade Obi-Wan outfit that his mom sewed for him, right?
Yeah.
And so as he's signing these picture, he says, "So how many times have you seen Star Wars?" And the kid's like, "Oh, I've seen it a million times. I love it so much." And he says, "You can have this autograph if you promise never to see it again." And the kid started bawling at that point,
Oh
and he
man.
wrote it and he wrote it like he was happy in his book. Yeah, I sure showed that kid. What?
Like finally I educated one youngin. I mean, you do see him in Empire and Return of the Jedi where you could tell him he's just does not care. He does not want to be there. Especially in
No, he just
Return, he
basically
just
sitting there
sits
going,
down. He's like, "All right, I'm just sitting for
yeah,
the
he sits
screen
down on the
door."
log. I'm like, wait a minute, Force Ghost can sit down on things?
He's like, "This one can, because I sure as heck ain't
Are you going to
standing for
give?
this whole scene."
You are giving Ryan Johnson some wrong ideas now.
Oh, yeah. Uh, don't say that name.
Oh, please. Well, you and I will, I guarantee you, stay tuned for this one, folks. We're going to have a podcast where I defend The Last Jedi and Adam attacks it. It'll be great.
Oh, that a fight for the ages.
It'll make WrestleMania this weekend look like a backyard squabble.
I mean, the internet has waged war over that movie for like a decade now. At this point, it's insane.
I know. I tell you one thing though, at least people are still talking about it. So,
I mean, yeah. Nothing else. Ryan Johnson got his accomplished his mission of I want to make a movie people talk about. You sure
and
did.
he did. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of The Last Jedi, but there are particular elements that, if they were done by a better director, would have been a lot more interesting.
Right. Yeah.
I'm,
Yeah.
I am not going to. But I will say that this pretty much was handled with the accuracy and delicacy of Homer Simpson's makeup shotgun.
Yep. Yep.
Not exactly
Basically.
done too well.
No. No, just kind of scattershotting everything and seeing what lands where.
Exactly.
Well,
So,
I guess we can
well,
wrap up
Adam,
this episode. Oh, go ahead.
I had a very, very good time. I thank you for
Yeah.
being the tech man of this.
No problem. Yeah, this was great. I'm glad we could do it. And again, it's nice to finally put a voice to the texts.
I and hopefully we can do this something we can do a follow-up where we can continue. If anybody is listening and has any questions they want to ask either myself or Adam, please feel free. We'll be happy to address them on the show.
Yeah, and you can find Mr. Hyde at Mr. Hyde. Got any projects coming up that you want to talk about, or anything on Substack you're releasing?
Well, I should be hopefully releasing the next chapter of my story on Substack. I'm putting the finishing touches on it, and so that should be coming up pretty shortly, within the next week.
Awesome, awesome. And I'll be releasing an article on Andor actually on Wednesday, so
Ooh,
check that out.
we're gonna have to talk about that show too.
Oh, it's such a good show.
I agree. Very enjoyable. Very
But
well done. It's one of the prequels that actually hits the mark perfectly.
yes, yes, I was skeptical when it was announced, but I was like, okay, you won me over because I was like, why do
Hmm.
we need a prequel to the guy that died in Rogue One?
Well, very simply because see, they had a story they wanted to tell.
Yep.
That's the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
They had a
Yeah.
story, and they told the story well. I enjoyed Andor very much. So we're gonna have a good talk about that.
Yeah. It was great. But thank you so much for listening, and you folks have a good week.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night.